Hi, how are you? This is Iris Claesson, and this chubby little baby is Loke. He's 12 weeks old, and I didn't plan on having him in the video, but now he's here, so he's gonna be in the video. I promised to record a video about how you become a voting member of the .NET Foundation, and later on how you can run as a candidate for the board, which I want to do. At first I thought that I couldn't, like why would anybody want me as a voting member or a board member? Because I mean, I'm not a massive contributor to open source. I do a lot of evangelizing and I contribute in that way, but I sort of always felt like you had to be like a big contributor and write a lot of awesome code, and you had to be like super duper smart to become a voting member. No, that is not a requirement. So if you like me, are curious, and you would like to become a voting member, at least check it out and submit. And what's the worst thing that can happen? You get a rejection. Well, you gotta deal with that. We're all adults. And oh my god, he's really happy. He can see himself on the screen and he thinks it's another baby. That's why he's so excited. So let's get recording before he starts crying. Alright, so if you go over to the .NET Foundation website, you can go to election.netfoundation.org and you'll find more information there. I'll do a separate video and a blog post about the .NET Foundation, what it is, why it exists, and why it is so important that we become active voting members. But for now, I'm just going to show you the steps of becoming a voting member. And this is very easy. You click on the button to become a voting member. I'm pretty sure you could figure that out as well. And once you do that, a form will appear where you can enter in your details. So, how do I type with the baby? Iris. Yes. Claesson. Oh no, wait, sorry. Right, and I'll just type with one hand instead. Iris Claesson. Email address, contact at change language to English because I got a US layout at Iris Claesson. And that's how you contact me, by the way. If you have questions, send me an email. I'm not very good at answering or checking my email, so Twitter is a better place. And there it is, Iris Claesson. All my social media and forums and so on, I always use Iris Claesson, except YouTube. All right, so contribution links. If you contributed to open source, you can add specific, for example, you could do specific commits if you have like a big commit, or if you have pull requests, but please have specific URLs. And if, like me, you're more done evangelizing and that sort of contribution, then you can add those links as well, but make sure it's specific. Now, actually, what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna do a little bit differently, I'm not gonna be super specific in the first two links, because the first link I'm going to add is going to be to my blog. So since I started programming back in 2011, I used to be a clinical dietitian, and I had a change of heart and wanted to try something else. So I started learning programming instead. And from the very first day of school, I actually started blogging about my journey and everything I learned. So my blog has a lot of content and it's all about .NET. So I'll add that contribution link there, because I can't really add specific blog posts because there are so many. I'm in the middle of a move now, so I haven't done anything for a week and a half though. All right, another contribution link. I'm going to choose my YouTube channel. I do a lot of videos. I have my Not So Stupid Question videos, which is every week. I ask a question and I provide an answer and I talk a little bit about it. And I also have various tutorials, and most of them are about .NET. And a lot is about .NET Core, .NET Standard, and also ASP.NET Core. So there we go. He's got the hiccups. It's so cute. And the last contribution link, I only have one more, and I wasn't sure which one to pick, but I decided on choosing this video here. I did a talk at a dev conference when I was 9 months pregnant with him, and he almost arrived a few days before the conference, and then I gave birth like a week later. He was smaller back then. It was a really fun conference and I absolutely love Ördev, and I did a session about ASP.NET Core. So I'm going to add this link as a third contribution, just examples. I could also add a link to various contributions I've done that are uploaded on Channel 9. One of them is like 1-hour interview with the MVP show where I talk about microservices and multi-tenancy solutions and so on. Or a session I did at the Software Craftsmanship Conference, where I talked about being a less than perfect developer and how to deal with that. It's a humorous session that sort of targets people who feel like they have no idea what they're doing, because you know, the more you learn, the more you learn what you don't know, and it's quite common to become a bit more insecure, and I feel like you're sort of getting more stupid the more you learn, and that's what the session was about. And it showcases how I predominantly try to engage people who feel like they are not contributing enough or that they don't have anything to contribute, and students and also minorities such as me. I'm a woman, there aren't too many of us, and I'd like to see a better mix of people in the community as well as the board. So I didn't select that one because I want something a bit more .NET specific, so I added the one from Ördev. And then you can add the contribution statement. So obviously contributions aren't limited to open source, as I talked about. And if you, for example, done a contribution that's hard to showcase by adding a link, you know, you spoke at a conference and they didn't record the session and it's not up there anymore, or you've done other things that, you know, you don't really have a link to, then you can write a contribution statement instead. And you probably should write one regardless. I wrote a contribution statement, just a quick one. Don't worry too much about wording. I wrote this in about 10 minutes very quickly. I'm not going to go through it. I think it's a too long of a read. It's just me talking about why the .NET community is important for me, how it's a second home for me, and I want to get people engaged, and that I'm particularly interested in getting students involved and people with, you know, non-tech or non-programming background to get more interested in the .NET Foundation and contributing in other ways than just source code. So that's my statement, and I'm going to use the same statement when I run as a candidate for the board, just because I sort of have I wrote this up, and at first it was for a voting member, and I realized I'm going to run as a candidate for the board, and I think this statement should do. And then voila, I add in the text here, which is like a vomit of text. That's probably a little bit too much. And then I hit submit. I've already submitted. Once you've submitted, you just wait until you're contacted. And once you become approved, they would like you to pay annually $100 US. But if you have financial hardship or you're a student, they might let you get away without paying anything. Ooh. But it's not a lot of money. I'm happy. For me, it's not a lot of money. I'm happy to contribute that for something that's very important to me. So I'm fine with that. Now, in regards to running. Leave the site, yes. If you want to become a board member, then what you do is you have to fill out a campaign statement. I'll just scroll down and I'll show you here. You can see an example of a campaign statement on the page here, and basically it's just why you're running, your contributions, some links and contact information, and that's how you get started with that. But once I'm approved as a voting member and I paid my annual dues, then I'll go ahead and fill out the rest for my campaign statement, and we'll see how that goes. And that's it. A long video for something very simple. So I don't know how many people is going to watch this, but I offered to do this video, so here it is. And I think this little boy was entertained as well. Yes. I've got a terrible cold and my sinuses are so blocked, so I'm ready to die. But anyways, thank you for watching. Have an excellent day and take care. Bye. Can you give a little smile? There. You can see the baby up there. Can you give us a smile? Give a smile to the camera. Smile, smile. Who won't do it? All right, okay. Anticlimactic. All right, thank you for watching. Take care. Bye.